So the first match we're going to talk about is the World Heavyweight Championship, with Seth Rollins defending that title against Jey Uso, CM Punk, and LA Knight. I'm looking forward to this match. Coming off everything that we saw at SummerSlam, this is a nice way to have Seth Rollins defend this title. You automatically getting CM Punk a little payback by inserting him in the match. But now we also have Jey Uso and LA Knight. When it comes to LA Knight, he's really been impressive to me over the past few weeks, because for a while I thought he was in this weird space where they couldn't capture the momentum that he had in the past. Sometimes a talent can get too hot and the company is not ready to give them the proper push. But it seems like after a while, LA Knight has really been settling into his own. Everything is really starting to come together for LA Knight, and I'm really proud to see this happen. Ever since his feud with Bray Wyatt, he's taken the spotlight and never looked back. So rest in peace to Bray Wyatt for providing that spotlight. This is why I'm proud to see what LA Knight has been doing, because it hasn't went in vain. I'm not sure if other wrestling fans look at it that way, but every time I see LA Knight being successful, I always feel like it's a part tribute to Bray Wyatt. A couple of years ago, a lot of fans were comparing LA Knight to The Rock and Stone Cold, primarily due to his promos, the mannerisms, the punchlines, the delivery, and I understood that. But I always felt like LA Knight still had his own lane. Even though he had similarities to stars in the past, I still feel like LA Knight had his own presence and he was staying in his own lane. Now, a couple of years later, I'm really starting to see him be comfortable naturally. And maybe that should be the case automatically with every wrestler, but this is one of those things that it takes time and experience to achieve. It's a small detail, but those always make the biggest impact. As a wrestler, you got to be on top of your game the entire year. There's no off seasons, right? So you always got to be on point. And that's why being comfortable naturally is a huge building block towards your development. Every interaction that LA Knight has had over the past few months have been right on the money, including the interaction that he had with CM Punk just a couple weeks ago. It was a short segment, but I thought it was powerful because it shows so much potential of what the WWE could do with two guys like that. You could say that CM Punk and LA Knight are cut from a similar cloth. And that's why it was intriguing to see these guys have the type of encounter that they had. So even to piggyback off that scenario was perfect to include it in this fatal four-way. I wouldn't be surprised if a conflict between CM Punk and LA Knight is the thing that helps Seth Rollins retain the championship in this match. Because I guess since we on the subject, I do think that Seth Rollins is going to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't really think that it takes too much effort to realize that. He just won the championship. And that's one of the tricky things about having a championship match right after somebody has won the title. Almost 100% of the time, a new champion won't be dropping the title at the next big event. And I can't see that formula changing now. But even though this match has that plot device attached to it, I still think that Seth Rollins should win anyway. Because as I always say, Seth Rollins really is one of the best wrestlers in all of professional wrestling. You could say what you want about the character, because even I will admit that it's corny as hell. And I hate the fact that last week on Monday night, Seth Rollins was out there looking like he was on vacation instead of being a world heavyweight champion. So it's still a lot of things that need a ton of work and a ton of correcting, because everything about Seth Rollins' presentation right now is almost an embarrassment. But even with that said, he's still one of the best to step inside of the ring. When you have these fatal four-way matches, when it's done at the right place and the right time, it's the perfect move to make. Because I can almost guarantee we're going to see the best of all four guys in this match. Even though we've seen all of these guys compete at a high level plenty of times, I truly believe that all four of these competitors are going to go to Paris and they're going to put on a classic match, including Jey Uso. Because right before I started the show, I was reading that a lot of people don't think that Jey Uso should be included in this match. And for me, I'm just always confused when it comes to that type of talk surrounding Jey Uso. Because ever since he won the Royal Rumble, I've been hearing and seeing things that I just thought I wouldn't hear or see. I didn't know that so many people had smoke with Jey Uso as it pertains to him being a power player in the WWE. I understand that a lot of people don't like the fact that Jey Uso's primary move is a super kick. I get that. I'm not going to sit here and argue about that because we got to call a spade a spade. Myself personally, I think he brings more to the table than a super kick. But if that is the case, I got to fault the WWE for that. This is $1 billion empire in the WWE that has a state-of-the-art, one-of-a-kind performance and training center. Somebody should have sat down with Jey Uso by now and added a few more plays to the playbook. And I hope that Jey Uso takes it upon himself to make a few corrections. We all know that Jey Uso comes from a tag team, one of the best tag teams. But it almost seems like we forget that when he has these one-on-one matches. It's still an adjustment to make in terms of timing and rhythm when you're doing a one-on-one match compared to a tag team match. That's why when it comes to this fatal four-way at Clash in Paris, I think we're gonna see one of the best versions of Jey Uso that we've seen in a while. Because for him, this will almost feel like a tag team match having 4 competitors involved. And when you have all of these moving parts within a match, you want a guy like Jey Uso involved. Because believe it or not, he's one of the guys that could establish the continuity that we will see in this match. LA Knight is still stepping into his own. And this is going to be a nice test for LA Knight. Because again, it's a lot of moving parts when you do triple threats and fatal four-ways. And this particular match involves 3 guys that will all be in the Hall of Fame. So Seth Rollins coming into this match as the world champion is fitting. Because I think we're all going to see why he is one of the best wrestlers, if not the best, in the WWE. His leadership skills should be on full display in this match. Now, it's ironic because this match also involves CM Punk. Shout out to Chicago. It was a time where I couldn't see anybody other than CM Punk carrying the match. But when I saw CM Punk have that classic match with Gunther at SummerSlam, I saw a version of Punk that quickly reminded me that we're not going to see CM Punk inside of the ring that much longer. And this was a rough realization to have. CM Punk has been and will always be one of my favorite competitors in the sport of professional wrestling. And I think that Punk deserves a lot of credit for what he's able to achieve at 47 years old. And that's how good he is. This man is almost 50 and we act like we don't even realize it. So when I saw certain reactions from CM Punk in his match with Gunther, it showed me that we have to appreciate CM Punk right now. The WWE is already letting it be known that we will have a LA Knight and a CM Punk feud probably sooner than later. And for me, the real beginning of that feud will start in Paris, and that will ultimately be the reason why Seth Rollins retains his World Heavyweight Championship.